How's it going, Shasta College? Humanities 4 through film studies. We're studying our humanity, who we are, through the art and crafts of motion pictures. It's a pretty good indicator of who we are. The last 100 plus years, it is because it's on film. We can see it, we can hear it, we can feel it in our bones. We can hear the music. We can hear the sound effects, the bigness of it all. It represents who we are, right? Does it? Does it represent you? Perhaps. Um, there used to be an old thing about people wanting to live in the movies. That was me. I wanted to be on several television shows. The Monkees was one of them. I just wanted to live there and be in the Monkees. Is that so bad? Is that so bad of a wish? Anyway, you put yourself in the films that we watch. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Maybe you see something of yourself in some movies you watch. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't see a lot of people like me in films. I don't. Once in a while, I see something that I relate to, and I go, "Uh oh, someone's captured some part of who I am." It's not easy to do that, and that's part of the art form. If the writer or the directors are paying attention to the world they're living in. Before I go too much further into the lecture tonight about superheroes, why do they matter? Do they? Um, I made the announcement. It's in announcements. It's also in assignments. The journal reflection. Remember that? Yes, you remember it. The journal reflection. You can start handing it in now until the final due date, which I think is next week. So get it in now if you want. I don't care if it's missing a couple days. You're going to miss a lot though by not being involved in my lectures, but you can start handing in the journals starting tonight to I think it's next Monday. Don't be late because I don't want to be grading papers after the class is done. I've got enough grading to you, as you well know. So get those reflection journals in if you don't know what they are by now. Better figure out what they are. It's a diary of what we've been doing in this class for 17 weeks. It's hard to believe it's been 15 weeks already. Anyway, I sent a sample out there. It's on announcements. You can see it, what it looks like. That's what it's supposed to look like. Except for you'll do better than that one. I hope. You describe what we did that week, what I talked about, what you read about, what your paper possibly, and what you learned. Hopefully, you got something out of it. That's the reflection part. That helps me understand that you participated in this course, and also it lets me know if I somehow need improvement. That's hard to believe, right? How can you improve on this? But I'm open to suggestions. And so if there's some criticism out there, make it polite, that I could somehow function better on this online thing that we're doing, which started 2 years ago, as far as I'm concerned, because this class is going to be online until through next fall. So it's a work in progress, trying to make that as best we can or best I can. So, but I can only do it if I have suggestions from people out there, the students, because you're on the receiving end of this. I don't have an audience. I'm talking in my empty house, and my cat is staring at me in the window over there, wondering who in the hell I'm talking to. I wonder too. So, anyway, that is due. And I think that's it. Everything's been assigned. It's all on assignments. There's no more assignments. Yes, you're going to have to do another paper, but that's it. I'm not going to sign anything else. Enough already. I want to talk about superheroes tonight. Yeah. Do you think because I'm an old grouchy guy who grew up in another era of meaningful films, that superhero movies tend not to set well with me? You'd be right. Um, I don't watch many of them. I do watch them because I'm a film teacher and I need to be up on the current trends. I see what's going on. I try to put it in a cultural, contextual atmosphere because there's a reason why superhero movies are so popular in the last literally 8 or 9 years. They've been around forever, folks. I mean, we had superhero movies, serials in the 40s, Superman, Batman television. Not that he's a superhero. He's a he is a human. He's one of the few superheroes that's not doesn't have any superpowers. He's just a rich guy. And he can't be killed, by the way. I don't think the rest of them can. Am I wrong on that? Who can be killed? You guys are experts at this stuff. If they can't be killed, wow, that's a power, right? Immortality. Um, what's their part? What's their problem? Why do they want to save the world? Why can't they just kick back and go get a latte at Starbucks and enjoy their life at time? Why do they got to save everybody? Why do they have to make us all behave? What's their issue? A lot of them have issues. They're insecure. Spider Man's very insecure, right? Because he was just a kid. Got bit by a spider and go off looking for the super wham. A lot of these superheroes kind of start off that way. They don't go looking for it. It just comes to them. Superman was born into it. I don't know all the stories. I don't. Sorry to say out there. Forgive me. X-Man and all that. Iron Man, he's not a superhero. He's just a rich guy who builds a suit that can fly around and punch people. Of course, he's fighting supernatural superheroes. So why has it become such a sweeping, popular, um, I'm not going to art form, but a way to get your money, that's for sure, or make us watch. And it's endless. The sequels have been endless. I mean, how many X-Men sequels have there been? You've seen them. Iron Man sequels, and then subsequels and spin-offs. So much comes from the comic book world. Uh, Many of these things, if not all of them, have their first comic books. Think about that, folks. Comic books. Who reads them? Young people, teenagers, even younger. You don't see too many people over 30 reading a comic book. If they are, watch it. Um, so when you're a kid, 14, 15, it's cool to have these kind of heroes. It is. You want to build your body up and you want to fly around and save the day so you can get the girl or the guy or whatever you're going after. And that's kind of normal. We all want to save the day, but mostly we can't even save ourselves, let alone save the day. Um, Famous philosopher said, "A world that is seeking a hero is a culture in decline." Think about that, folks. Perhaps this culture is in decline because they're not making superhero movies in Denmark, South America, they're Spain. They're making movies about people still because perhaps their culture is in decline. You don't think our American culture is in decline? We've been talking about it for 17 weeks. The flaws of our being number one in the world, whatever is flawed. Go ask the people in Denmark or Norway. They have it pretty good, folks, and they would think they were number one. Are they as big and rich as us? No. But just because we're big and rich doesn't mean we don't have our flaws. You know, we got politics running everything we're doing. Can't make a move without somebody, politician, wanting to change the way we think and dress and work and act and bend us to their will, like a superhero villain. Superhero villains are classic. They want to control everybody's move. Think about what's going on in the world right now, what's happening in Ukraine. Putin is a great superhero villain. He's not a superhero, folks. He's the opposite. He wants to bend people to his will. You will obey, or we will blow the living holy crap out of you. It's power through might. Superhero villains, that's how they rule. So then we get somebody like Thor or Iron Man or Spider Man to fight those guys because we can't fight them with regular means, right? Because bullets bounce off of them. Doesn't matter how many bombs you throw on them or missiles, they survive it somehow because they are superhero villains with superhero powers. And they're also fascists. Now, that's somebody who wants to control what you think and do and to behave yourself and only do what they want you to do. That's what Hitler was, folks. He tried to make a supreme race of blonde white people, and he was willing to wipe out anybody who wasn't that. He didn't even like if somebody who wasn't blonde and white agreed with him. He didn't look like he wanted you to look, you're out. You don't think what he wants you to think, out. He wants to control everything and make all the decisions. No freedom of choice, no freedom of artistic expression, no dissent. Right now in Putin's Russia, his citizens are banned from saying the word war. If you say war, you could go to jail. That's a superhero villain, folks, because they don't want anybody thinking, anybody resisting. And that's what we feel powerless. This is people in superhero movies. And maybe our lives, we feel powerless too. And so we let the politicians do all our thinking for us, which is not right because they're just people. They're not superheroes. They're just flawed people, just like we are. So superhero movies are popular because, well, Hollywood is out to get your money no matter what. And you like all the special effects and the cool fights. But what does it have to do with anything, really, besides a visceral, dare I say, fun ride or something? A couple months ago, last year, Martin Scorsese, the great director, compared these new movies to like a ride at Disneyland or not, or wherever the rides are, to a fun ride at on the Santa Cruz Boardwalk, and a lot of people are up in the arms of that. They go, hold on. Well, do you get a visceral ride out of it when one of the superheroes is finally pounding the holy hell out of the bad guy? Kind of like a ride on the boardwalk in Santa Cruz. Maybe the thrill of victory, the feel of the rush of righteousness, perhaps. It seems like the issues in superhero movies are very simple. Good against evil, period. It's a black and white issue, and our lives aren't like that. It maybe people want them to be like that. So we have one villain to go against. If we get rid of that villain, life will be good again. Doesn't work that way, folks. We got rid of Stalin, we got rid of Hitler. Other Stalin and Hitlers pop up all over the world. So I see I went on YouTube and looked at all these people why they love superhero movies and why they hate them. And it's equal on both sides. I don't want to say I hate them because that's a harsh term. I'm just disappointed. We could do better as filmmakers. Hollywood could do better and treat us like we have a brain in our head, not just an adrenaline rush junkie who's going to pay $15 to see Iron Man punch a supervillain through a wall. Is that cinema, folks? Is it telling our story? No story I know. Nobody I know could do that. So it's not telling you anything in my reality. Maybe it's telling something in your reality. I'm not sure. I'm not saying you can't like it. There's an enjoyment effect out of it. If it's done with some wit and some meaning and some social conscience, some of them have that. I know that. But at the end of the day, all it comes down to usually a big fist fight. That's what it usually comes down to. And we know who's going to win until the sequel. What do you guys think? You tell me. I'm going to put this up on the discussion. Look at the discussion. Why superhero movies matter. Do they? I don't know. I'm struggling with it. It's hard to believe I don't have all the answers, but I have a lot of questions. And maybe I'll learn something from you. Now it's your turn to be the superhero. I'll see you next time when the story of film continues.